A man came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they asked him a question. And the question was, Ya Rasulullah, or Messenger of Allah, how do you advise me? Please, give me advice. And so Rasulullah said to him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, La ta'adab. He said, but Rasulullah, I just want advice. La ta'adab. And he paused and he asked again, Ya Rasulullah, please, just tell me anything, give me advice. La ta'adab. What is this? La ta'adab, do not become angry. And he asked again, and he said, do not become angry. And he asked again, do not become angry. This was Rasulullah's advice to this person. And if you notice, the first time he overlooked it, and the second time he acted like he couldn't hear. And the Rasulullah, he kept it simple. La ta'dab, do not become angry. Which also highlights that it's an option, it's a choice. We do have the capacity to control anger. Sagittarius is where passion can build up into a raging fire that we might not be able to control, especially in the name of truth or righteousness. In the name of truth or righteousness, building up anger and frustration to the point where it makes regrets. And what do we have a review in retrograde? Cancer Mars for the rest of the year. Righteous anger. Righteous anger. What is righteous anger like? You got a newborn baby. And you know how that is for those out who have children. What it's like to bring a baby home for the first 2 weeks as it finds its rhythm. Babies have lungs that are stronger than an adult. They have lungs that could shake the whole entire house. It's a miracle how loud they can scream. You would think that somebody's doing something to them the way they wake up and scream. You did a graveyard shift. You pulled a double. Had to come home and fix a timing belt or change out a alternator. Hang pictures or hang the TV for the wife. Honey-do list. And you're tired. You finally get to bed late. You got to get up 4:30 in the morning. You finally got to bed at around 12:30. And at 1:15, you just fell asleep. And here goes the baby, screaming to the top of their lungs. You feel angry because you're tired. You feel angry because you've just been violated. But when you look at the baby, or when you are conscious of the fact this is a baby, the baby has no gripe. They have no fault. They're hungry. They pooped in a diaper. What can you do? Right? Yeah, you're angry, but what can you do about it? It's a baby. It's a baby. Same thing if you have a 2 or 3 or 4 or 6-year-old. You finally take a nap and you get that good sleep sitting on the couch. You just nod off and you got that good sleep. You're taking a nice nap. Quiet in the house. And here comes the little baby, the toddler. Jump on your lap, or they sit on your face, pull on your hair, stick the finger in your nose, put a toy truck and roll it down your back, right? A Transformer or Spider-Man action figure, and they jump it all over your head. Yeah, I'm the bad guy. And you're trying to sleep. What can you do? You're pissed off because you finally got to sleep. Here goes the toddler. waking you up. But what can you do? You understand? This is Cancer Mars. It's anger that is justified, but you must stand down. You see, this is why becoming parents is a whole new level of spiritual transformation when you enter into parenthood, because you have to train levels of faculties, spiritual faculties, that even becomes spiritual technology within the being. It is so advanced. To bring a baby home from the hospital, that baby is about to transform you. It's about to gut you out and make you a new person. And it does it with a smile. An innocent little baby can transform you through the power of love, compassion, understanding. So we learn to trade that rage by finding compassion and understanding. Once we home in on the compassion and understanding, we're able to restrain that anger and make it forbidden for us to express that anger with passion. Understand? Because compassion and understanding has us to ascend and elevate our consciousness to where that is not even an option. Imagine a baby crying and you pick the baby up and you throw it out the window. Because it started screaming. Just whoop, I'm trying to sleep. And you throw the baby out the window. Come on. You're crazy. You know? Your little kid comes with a Spider-Man action figure, jumping on your face with it. A toy gun shooting little Nerf balls at your face and you're just trying to sleep. What are you going to do? Grab the kid by the neck and throw him on the wall? No. Compassion, understanding, love. It makes it forbidden for you to do that. That is a technology within the spirit. When we ascend to that level to where we're aware that we have that option, that we have access to that level of consciousness, to where reacting to the anger is not even an option for me, because through love, compassion, understanding, it is forbidden for me to even consider that thought to enter into my mind to react to this anger this way. Therefore, the anger must transform itself, transmute itself within the being. Understand? Now I'm being changed and transformed and evolved. La ta'dab. La ta'dab. La ta'dab. Submission to the truth is here. Gemini Full Moon.
Yes, a big up Fred Irie.
This Gemini Full Moon culminates what we have been weighing in the Civil War context between man and woman, left and right, Republican and Democrat, conservative and liberal. This ends that. It ends it as an argument. It ends it as discussions that are inflated and inflammatory. It ends it as a going back and forth. And this is because submission is now here. There is overwhelming domination of truth that's prevailing over the people. Falsehood has lost. It has fallen. And all things that falsehood was upholding and sustaining has also fallen with it. This is where they finally tap out. And they say, you know what? We lost. We can't keep holding on to this. We have to accept the offer for transformation at the point of disillusionment. Because although we wanted something else to be true, although we wanted something else to be the reality, although we wanted justice to unfold in a way that fits our desires, it was not so. So now we must submit to what the truth is. The reality is here based on truth and not delusion. This full moon Gemini closes that chapter of the going back and forth about it, and now it solidifies, it hardens, it dries as the reality. America is red. The truth is here, and we're not going back from it. And those who resist it and rebel against it, those who do not want to conform and adjust themselves, it will be a hard time. We are past cognitive dissonance. We are past the shock. Now comes the formulation of culture based on who won the battle. The flags go up, and now the policies pass throughout the land. These are the rules from now on. These are the laws from now on. This is how we're going to do this, and this is how we're going to do that according to the flag that prevails. The flag is on the hill is what this shows. The flag is on the hill. Who won is who won. And now it's time to put on the jacket, the hat, and the culture of the one who won. And there's nothing you can do about it. Truth is prevailing now. Policies, laws, amendments, they're going to make adjustments in how we experience society. Economics, social and political policies, and it's going to trickle down to affect the domestic experience, the domestic affairs, how you experience your personal life as well. Gemini ends that as a thought, as an argument to where you see the possibility that I could push my view on the other person. I could win this argument. No, it's too late. The falsehood has already lost, and the world is crumbling down of those who tried to uphold it. Feminism is fallen. Liberalism is fallen. Gemini full moon, 24 degrees. Reading the expression of these transits, we refer to Sabian symbols. Thus, 24 to 25 degrees, as the energy is progressing to 25 degrees. This Sabian symbol, Gemini, 25 degrees. A man trimming palms. A man trimming palms. That is palm trees. Understand. Containment of wildness. Containment of wildness. Wholesome limits must be applied to our urge to expand the scope of our knowledge and experience. Tidying up the expression of personality. Adding structure to the mind. Understand. This is quite unique, quite significant, because all over it, it describes Ogun, the god of war, the god of iron, Mars, spirit of truth. Understand. Ogun has always been described as clothing himself with palm fiber. What is it about palm fiber? Also called mariwo. Mariwo. What is unique to Ogun about palm fiber is that it represents resilience, triumph, strength, and victory. Palm fiber, it survives in its most authentic and natural shape because it endures weather, the elements, rain, hail, snow, windstorm, tornado, hurricane. Palm fiber will survive every bit of it. Everything short of fire, it will survive it. durable, gritty, prevailing, overcoming all things, all opposition, all troubles. It overcomes. It lasts. It endures. Palm fiber. Palm fiber is very tough, rugged material. And it is of the elements. This is the grit of man and woman, divine masculine. You and I, we are no different than that palm fiber. You think of a palm tree and all of the palm fibers that hang from the bottom of the palm tree, as it grows upward, it spreads downwards with itself, curving in like a first quarter moon. Even Allah speaks of the palm fiber in the Holy Quran, and that the mark of the beginning and end of Ramadan is the moon when it is shaped like the palm stalk. Understand? At the bottom, you see the dead palm fiber turning brown as it curves inwards and downwards toward the trunk of the tree. It is very unattractive. It is very unattractive. The beauty of the palm tree, it comes out in full when it is trimmed, when it is pruned. Ogun dressing in palm fibers, this represents the authenticity of Ogun's expression as being a gritty being. From the dirt, as they say. Close to the expression, loyal to the expression of the first chakra, the root chakra. Instinctual, original, from the mud, from the grit, from the dirt. In our so-called civilized expression, this is like a person who's straight from the streets, fresh out the projects, from the hardest corner of the neighborhoods that you can imagine, from the toughest living conditions and circumstances that a person can bear, out of the corner of a prison cell, deep in the trenches of combat and violence, war, opposition, difficulty, oppression, where life is seeking to take your life, where your ability to preserve your life is exponential. That is where Ogun is. He is at Scorpio, the instinct to survive and overcome. He is at Aries, the instinct to assert oneself into the elements of life, expressing your will to create and manifesting it. So palm fiber, the pruning, there's a feature in Islamic tradition, which I was raised a Muslim. It's called al-fitra. What is al-fitra? Al-fitra is a practice that makes us civilized. It separates us from the beasts. Al-fitra is to get a haircut. It's to line your hair up. It's to trim your nails when they get too long. It's to clean your nails so there's no dirt and grit in the nails. It's to take a shower. Al-fitra is everything of good hygiene. To brush your teeth. To wash your ass. Al-fitra. To smell good. You can leave your eyebrows like that. You can leave your hairline like that. You can leave your nails like that. But we trim it, we manage it. So that we not only have beauty, but efficiency, health, preservation. and a sense of dignity and pride, self-respect. And so that others treat us that way because we reflect that awareness of ourself. Al-Fitra. This is no different. And what we're being asked in this transit is in our communications, Gemini. We should show the same. I am a great example of this because my North Node is at this degree. And as you can hear, every time I express myself, I struggle to get this right. It's a struggle for me. Being authentic comes with confession, which is a sign of your salvation. Confession. And this is my confession to the public. 12th house and 11th house. And what my confession is, I struggle to deliver in a civilized fashion. I struggle to deliver without grit, without Ogun dominating my voice, without Ogun dominating my spirit. I struggle. I have the North Node at this degree in Gemini. So it's my destiny to learn how to clean up my delivery, how to restrain and civilize my approach, where I have Mars, Ogun, at Gemini 11th house. And every time you hear me speaking from the public space, you can hear it. You can hear it. There's a lot of shock value, rough around the edges. It needs pruning, it needs trimming, it needs to be cleaned up. And I'm aware of this. And I'm here to tell you that I too struggle with change and transformation just like you do. This is something I have to learn to get right. So let me be an example of what that looks like. You hear my speech, you hear my delivery, it could be very offensive, it could be abrasive, it could be brass, overbearing, difficult to swallow. But I have to learn to utilize wisdom in perfecting my delivery and communication so that it can be more receiving and palatable to all audiences. Understand? Because everybody can't handle that. All right? So, this is our challenge. This full moon culminates our past timeline, actions, activities, expressions that lacked this pruning of our palm tree. The palm tree being the self in your communications, obviously. Now, along with that, you're just like that palm tree. You just came out of storms, tornadoes and hurricanes that were crashing on the shore, bending the stalk, pushing the leaves, combing wind, tonnage of wind through the leaves. But yet you still survive, you still stand. You are a symbol of resilience. This is a representation of Scorpio, to have resilience. You have resilience. Mars co-rules Scorpio, just as it does Aries. Your personality, Aries, Scorpio, your regeneration. Your regeneration. So these two territories is what needs pruning. As Mars is in retrograde, including itself in all transit expressions. Understand? We have to prune these parts. Personality is what's expressed in this, right? Personality. Tidying up the expression of personality is what the Sabian symbol expresses. Tidying up the expression of personality. The expression of personality is a combination of the first house, which is the personality, the fifth house, which is the heart that expresses through the personality, and Scorpio, the regenerative spirit behind the personality that speaks through the instincts. Understand? All right. We also have Mercury in retrograde, which is a review and introspect in our communications. Mercury being the lord of Gemini, the full moon includes a review. It includes a review. We know that the first week of the retrograde is the crisis of the retrograde. The second week is the discovery towards solutions. And the third week is working out those solutions, so that by the end of the retrograde, we are looking at a new view of progress, victory, and success with the crisis that we began with in the Mercury theme. This full moon comes after the first week of the Mercury retrograde, which is at the turning point of the crisis toward discovery, which is the realization of what I was doing wrong, the realization of where I was lacking. What was I overlooking? What did I miss? What was in my way? Mercury is collecting details at Sagittarius. Sagittarius is where we are wild, ignorant, uncivilized, but yet desiring and seeking of, passionate for the truth wherever we discover it. Sagittarius is where our animal nature dominates our expression out into the world through passion, fiery nature, expansive fire, spreading fire. Again, let me use myself. If my north node is at Gemini, my south node is at Sagittarius. And you can hear it in my voice. I speak ignorant. I speak like a barbarian. Loud, uncivilized, beastly, beat on my chest, barbarian. Right? You can hear it in my delivery. So this is what South Node sounds like. So with the Lord of Gemini being in Sagittarius and the Lord of Sagittarius, Jupiter, being in Gemini, it presents an axis of a North and South Node disposition. Okay? They're funneling back to each other. So Mercury is giving us details into our passion, Sagittarius. It's helping us to understand how our passion has been working, how it has been affecting others, how it has been affecting ourselves, and the results that we get out of it. Our passion. What have we been doing with our passion for what? Our passion for the truth. What has our passion for the truth been like? Has it been underserving? Has it been overserving? I have Jupiter at Sagittarius, so my passion is often overserving. Understand? It's a wildfire, a spreading fire, a contagious fire. Understand? Looks like I'm using myself in this transit because it could be appropriate. Let me be a great example of what this could look like. So, Father God, Allah, Jah, however you want to say, the Most High, through the forces and impulses of His universe, is assisting us to civilize and tame our approach to truth, how we receive it, how we handle it, how we deliver it, how we pursue it, how we express it. Because Sagittarius is how we express truth. Understand? It's how we express truth through passion. It is also that which we take action and initiative to without the details, without insight, without knowledge, without counsel, without advice. We just jump in. Okay? So, truth is a big theme. Look where we are in the world with politics. Now, there's no need for me to go into the details anymore about liberalism. Of course, I think I have beat that enough into the heads of everybody where I can't hear another word about liberalism. Okay? If that's the case, I've done a good job. All right? Because we're going to be moving into other themes as the North Node is at Pisces, South Node is at Virgo, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to explain North Node, Pisces, and South Node, Virgo so much till you get tired of hearing about it, okay? It took me 18 months to, actually 22 months, to explain North Node, Aries, South Node, Libra. Understand? And we're finally at the end of it, where we don't need to be hearing it too much more by the new year, okay? So after the new year, we don't even need to talk about it no more, all right? So you can celebrate that you don't have to hear me talk about that no more after the new year. But anyway, catch my train of thought. Truth has been a hot theme because the South Node Libra is ending false light. And with it ending false light, there are those who wanted to run away from the truth, didn't want to deal with truth, and who got exposed for selling the truth or betraying the truth, representing themselves as a Luciferic impulse to the people, having false gold, fool's gold. Look at what happened with Billy Carson, who hit the headlines, okay? Billy Carson hit the headlines. People are in shock. People are in uproar. Oh, he was lying to the people, allegedly, okay? It wasn't that he was lying. He didn't know what the hell he was talking about. But he opened one eye and seen that people was eating it up. They was buying what he was selling, and he made a profit. Then he went and got a Barbie doll, all right, to help him to sell it. And now look, it ain't his fault. That's the people's fault, because people love lies. They love deception. They love somebody to comfort them in what they want to be true instead of having the resilience and courage to find acceptance for what is the truth so that there could be transformation at the point of disillusionment. That is the algorithm of Scorpio, but many do not want to get with that. Where you see a large crowd of females or a large crowd of people in praise, there is a false prophet. Understand, there will always be a false prophet in large crowds of females, because females love to be lied to. I know I'm not popular for saying that, but that's why I am the infamous astrologist. I'm going to say it. I just have to learn how to clean up what I say, okay? But I'm going to get there. But I'm still going to keep it real. Anyway, Sagittarius, we have to learn how to manage and control that fire, okay? Because yes, the truth is now coming out. Okay? North Node Mars. We downloaded North Node Mars. North Node Mars is here and is permanently here. Now Ogun is in charge. Mars is the Lord of this hour, this timeline. And with that being the case, truth is now setting people free. Truth is now in the open. Truth is now being spoken. Cancel culture is over because cancel culture died with liberalism. It died with feminism. The truth can't be stopped anymore. Look how many people are falling down because of the truth. Look how many people are being exposed because of the truth. Look how powerful truth is. It is coming out and wielding its sword. Truth. North Node Mars is downloaded. North Node Aries is downloaded. This is the planet of truth now. The hour and timeline of truth. You heard Cat Williams. You heard Cat Williams. Truth is here now. But there's a responsibility to the truth. If we don't go through this full moon, Gemini, at this degree that asks us to tidy up our delivery and expression and personality and how we relate to it, it could get messy, it could get dangerous. Because we're not here to create and promote violence out of it. We're not here to destroy and oppress each other out of it, abuse people with it, wield insults. Now, there's a difference between a person feeling insulted and a person being insulting. There's a difference, all right? So don't come for me for that. Understand? Don't even try it. I have real intelligence, and I will tell you the difference. Understand? But as I'm saying, we're being prepared to give a mature delivery and to have an appropriate personality or approach to the truth so that it is productive, so that it is healthy and not toxic. Because that Sagittarius wants to take that truth and make it spread. But Sagittarius will make war because Sagittarius is barbaric. It's like watching the movie 300. That's Sagittarius. Loud. I'm here. Beat on my chest. Hunt down the deer and don't even cook it. Just start eating his guts. That's Sagittarius. All right? So we don't need that type of spirit with the truth. Understand? Now, with that being said, the age of truth is here. We're being orientated through this full moon Gemini on how to change our consciousness, personality, our life to align with the truth. And in doing so, in our own ways, in our own worlds and realities, we're learning how to make a peaceful transition, peaceful adjustment to accommodate our relationship with the truth. And how to be fishers of men, per se, as Christ said, fishers of men, where we invite to the truth, where we call to the truth, and we try to make it as painless as possible. Trying to make it painless. And drawing off of wisdom and fine articulation, crafty communication and delivery, being a master and scientist of your words and communication, so that it is efficient and productive in how we handle the truth. Not leaving anybody behind because we made a trial of it. Not losing members, support, community. People who could have potentially transformed and become a great help. Not making a trial of those so that we invite into the truth, spreading the kingdom of God. Now notice I'm saying the kingdom of God, okay? But it's not to be assumed that I'm speaking as a Christian. I have nothing against Christians or any person of any religion, nor should you. Every religion has a perspective of the truth, a position with the truth. And religion should not be weaponized to put one against the other, to discredit somebody else's religion, belief, or walk of life. There is the obvious falsehoods and agendas that threatens the integrity, dignity, well-being, and values that we all share in a society. But to weaponize a religion is not only uncivilized, it is betrayal. It is betrayal. Because every person should have the chance to find hope, comfort, and possibility through their faith and religion. Religion helps a person who has not ascended to a spiritual commitment with their self. It teaches them how to give their self form through discipline, order, structure, and obedience, so that they can train their spirit to form character around it, so that they can enjoy a wholesome reality from a spiritual perspective that doesn't fail because of contradictions in the behavior. Understand? All right? So we often need religion for a time to reach our spirituality. There's a difference between religion and spirituality. Sagittarius represents religion. Pisces represents spirituality. Both of them are ruled by Jupiter, which happens to be in retrograde at Gemini, but they are not a contradiction. Understand? Spirituality is the higher exponent of religion. It is the unity of religions. Spirituality. It is spirituality that culminates the frequencies of light or colors that is represented by religions into one expression or vibration of white light, which is spirituality in and of itself. Spirituality is white light. Religions are frequencies that forms the white light through structure. Saturn. If you do not have Saturn, you cannot arrive at a spiritual life. Doing what the hell you want to do, eating what you want to eat, having no discipline or structure or order about yourself, no obedience in your life, that is not spirituality. That is delusion, fantasy, wishful thinking. You're lying to yourself. That's all you're doing. You cannot take Saturn out of anything in his life, because Saturn is what broke the time continuum from heaven, separating eternity from infinity, and the lifetime that begins and ends. Saturn. Therefore, Saturn must have its portion in all things that are to arrive at success or victory. Saturn. Understand? Father Time. The expression of God as Father Time. Know this. All religions are supplementations of Saturn. Supplementation of Saturn being discipline, order, structure. The calcium for the body. The bones of the body. Adding structure to the mind is being expressed with this Sabian symbol. Adding structure to the mind. Not just blurring out. Blah, 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 and you that blah, 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 but you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. This is why the Lord of Jupiter is in Gemini. Because Sagittarius wants to just blurt things out that you feel, that you think, but come to find out it's not even true. It's not even real. Come to find out you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Understand? Just because you loud don't mean you right. Gemini is where we examine, we test, we apply critical thought, we ask why. As it is written, wisdom is the principal thing. And with all thy getting, get understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get ye wisdom. Okay? And with all thy getting, get understanding. How do you get understanding? You ask questions. That's why you're told to get understanding, pursue understanding, be proactive towards understanding. That starts with you having the humility to be a student, to ask questions. To ask questions. This is the axis of the 3rd and 9th house. The 9th house is understanding, because it represents philosophy that has been formed. But the 3rd house is how you discover and generate understanding by examination, critical thinking, study, review, gathering of details, sorting out of the evidence and facts and information, asking why. 3rd house. The polarity is the 9th house, where that forms into philosophy. Understand? Sagittarius rules the culmination and final outcome of that. Sagittarius, hot truth that spreads. Understand? But without Gemini, it's not balanced. It's not balanced. It's about the balance. The Lord of Gemini is in Sagittarius, Mercury. The Lord of Sagittarius is in Gemini, Jupiter. It's about balance, the balancing out of these two. A new philosophy has to come in because we are in the timeline of truth. We have left the timeline of falsehood, deception, manipulation, and delusion. Venus, the bearers of false light, Luciferic impulse, Venus, the public opinion, Libra, what people in the comment section say, the advice that people in the comment section give you, what people in the comment section give validation to or not. That is South Node Libra. Liberal news and liberal media where they lie to you on the news channels. They lie to you on the TV. They lied to you. And you eat it up because it's entertaining or comforting. You don't check or verify to see, do I have the understanding? Do I ask questions? Do I say why or if? That is Gemini, to say why and if, to try it, to resist it, to oppose it, to be disagreeable, to challenge. That is Gemini. Gemini represents Ibiji. Ibiji, these are the twins of Oshun or Venus, who illegitimately had children who got pregnant by Shango or Uranus. But who was there to help raise Ibiji was Yemeya and also Eshu. This is the moon and this is Mercury that raised up or helped to co-parent Ibiji. The moon represents your intuitive insight or wisdom, that which the sun or your experiences have passed over. Mercury represents your cognitive thinking, your critical thinking, your cognitive thought, prefrontal cortex, gray brain matter, 7.5 ounces of brain, ethereal energy, intelligence, how you developed intelligence through the third house, your siblings or the environment that help you to form your thought process, your arguments, and your delivery. That is what raised Gemini or co-raised Gemini. But what seeded Gemini is Uranus and Venus. That's what seeds Gemini. That's the mother and father of Gemini, Uranus and Venus, these two together. Mothers and fathers, Gemini, Oshun and Shango. Electricity, copper through Venus, electricity through Uranus, zinc through Uranus, and copper through Venus. Understand? The astral body and the ethereal, the super ethereal. This is what forms Gemini. To think in consideration of the astral and to think in consideration of the intellectual mind, the ethereal. And thinking with the intention of bringing down revelation or new conclusion. As Uranus represents the revelation from heaven, that which we have never known and that which we have never seen, that which we have never understood, new discovery. And Pluto represents revelation from the underworld, that which we knew but forgot, or that which we had but have lost. Gemini deals with revelation from the heaven, Uranus. So when it asks why or if, it's trying to find new conclusive evidence and discovery toward the birth of understanding, which is the best part. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. We know that wisdom has to do with the water triangle. Understand? The water triangle. Wisdom through Cancer, ruled by the moon, lunar illumination, that which we have passed through, gives us insight, which lends us intuition, which informs our wisdom. Understand? 8th house has to do with regeneration of our instinctual learning experiences, the amygdala, the fight or flight. It informs strategy, the authorization of actions, defense, through Scorpio. So anyway, with this polarity, full moon at Gemini, it's like a car that is running rich, okay? When a car is running rich, it has more air but less fire. Fire coming from the fuel, of course, that hits the spark plugs, okay, and makes combustion. But this is where we have too much air, okay, in the intake. When there's too much air in the intake, it runs rich. When there's too little air in the intake, it runs lean. Okay, it runs lean. And so Gemini represents air. Sagittarius represents the combustion. All right? Air and combustion. This axis. So when you have too much Gemini, you're running rich. You're going to have misfires. Decreased fuel economy. Right? Spark plugs going out. Check engine light coming on. Black smoke possibly coming out the exhaust. You're going to have problems. You have to balance this axis. You don't want to run lean. You don't want to run rich. You don't want to jump to too many conclusions and go into the spreading of fire with misinformation like Sagittarius. You want to incorporate some Gemini so that you're well informed and have correctness. You don't want to overthink it. Planning, questioning, examining, walking around it a million times, but you never take action. You never do anything. You sit there with a notebook and you're writing, thinking, talking, but you never do nothing. Balance. Balance. This axis has something to do with bringing resolution to your Mercury retrograde that you're in right now. Because we're stepping into the second week of the Mercury retrograde, which is discovery towards correctness. The first week was the crisis where the pain was delivered to us so that we could pay attention and prioritize this solution. Pain. Your tooth hurts, your toe hurts, your knee hurts. You're going to discover, you're going to pay attention to it, and you're going to try to find out what's wrong. What's the problem? Pain is demanding your attention. Now, at the same time, two planets cross Pluto as you had this pain, this crisis. One of the planets was Ceres, crossing over Pluto. And Ceres crossing over Pluto was giving you revelation from the underground, okay? Revisiting an insight that you already had, okay? Of something tangible, material that you need to move forward in your new timeline. What's missing? So in the past 5 days, you have had a revelation of something that you need to move forward and feeling powerful in your new timeline, to feel the power of your new reality. What tangible physical thing are you missing? You've had that revelation in the past 5 days of what it is that you need. With Venus crossing over Pluto, past 5 days, you had revelation of what type of relationships, resources, and finances that you need to accomplish it, to get started in a new timeline toward a new reality that you desire to be authentic in. Understand? Okay? So bring all of this together and examining this retrograde. Okay? It's all working together. It's all working together. At the same time, Mars is retrograde with Leo, giving us a review of our heart space. Our heart space. What is it in your heart, in detail, what is it in your heart that is truly authentic for you to find a way to establish a permanent, long-lasting expression of in your reality? And where did you possibly come up short with yourself and being positioned to live that out? Where did you keep coming up short? And what really shows you that is Saturn direct. Because Saturn direct in Pisces is giving you a backtrack through the same degrees that you went through without authority, without boundaries, without standards, without learning how to say no, without using your authority and consent. Saturn is walking you back through those themes to show you that Saturn has accomplished it for you, to give you that authority. You are now empowered, or authorized, I should say, to be empowered. So you're going to go back through those same themes as Mars backtracks through Leo and also Cancer, and you're going to revisit points of agitation and frustration. And you're going to realize that was you that was in your way. You're going to realize that you had authority all along. And you had consent all along. That's what you're going to realize. And realizing that, you're going to use your power and consent, your authority. Because Saturn is showing you all those exercises I was pulling you through, telling you that you could get one more push, one more sprint, one more run for 5 more minutes. Okay, hit the shower. It paid off. Now you have the strength, the integrity, the endurance. You can trust yourself. You have obedience for the things that you suffered. Accountability. Now, when you say no, when you choose to be authentic at the point of crisis, when somebody's calling you and inviting you into something that is not of your heart, not of your doing, not of your being, not of your calling, you can say no peacefully. Because you understand you don't have to fight for that. Your no is a no. You don't have to argue. When we're fighting and arguing, we still feel powerless. That's insecurity. And we're fighting for somebody to accept our no as no. But when you realize where your authority is at and you say no, you can say it calmly, peacefully, without overexerting yourself or being overbearing. And you allow that person to figure their self out and how they feel about it. But it's not your problem. We are stepping into a more peaceful life, a more peaceful existence. Because we're learning, we're transforming, we're growing. Understand? So Saturn is what's helping with that. This comes from the subconscious. Saturn is moving through Pisces. So it's subconscious impulses that had us in our own way. Fear, insecurity, that had us behaving in ways, reacting in ways, that was putting us in a bind. That was destroying our politics with other people. The harmony that we should have enjoyed in our life. The trust that we should have had for ourselves and others. Understand? So much is being accomplished. Along with this, look where Juno is at in Scorpio. In Scorpio. Juno is teaching us as we go through these transits. It's reforming and reconditioning, resetting
That's a big of
the
Fred
terms of our amygdala. Look this word up, amygdala. It's resetting and reprogramming the amygdala so that our fight or flight is set to carry out, deliver, and protect our most authentic expression, not allowing fear or guilt to short circuit our expression of our authenticity. Understand? That's what this is about. It's rewiring and rooting us to Scorpio. And Scorpio is where the deep, authentic self resides. It's with the instincts. Who do I trust? Me. That's who. That's Scorpio. In Scorpio is where we learn the secret power that God gave us in the serenity prayer. Father God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change. If we can learn that, we can pick our battles and stop wasting our energy, our emotions, our time, save ourselves frustration and time. There's some things that you cannot change. Grant us the courage to change the things that we can. How often do we lie to ourselves about what we really can change? And then play victim, pump ourselves up full of resentment because we're missing opportunities, because we're into lying to ourselves about what we really do have the power to change. You could change it, you just don't want to. You want somebody else to do it for you. You could change the situation, but you want somebody else to change instead of you change. Minoring in the major, in the majors, or majoring in the minors. Paying attention to the wrong things. Minding our business can be very rewarding. Grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change. Grant us the courage to change the things that we can. And the wisdom to know the difference. The wisdom to know the difference. Understand? Here it is, full moon, Gemini, the wisdom to know the difference. Gemini affords wisdom. Understand? Now let me repeat again. Wholesome limits must be applied to our urge to expand the scope of our knowledge and experience. This part, expand, is Jupiter in Sagittarius. Expand the scope of our knowledge and experience. That's Jupiter in Sagittarius. Okay? Which is south node of Gemini full moon. All right? So it works hand in hand. This degree, the Sabian symbol, it really responds to its polarity. Tidying up. Making sure that we are not uncivilized in our pursuits, in our ways. We're trying to go higher, not lower. We're evolving as a collective in humanity. We're not trying to dissolve and go down and backwards. We went through that already with South Node Libra. We're going up from here. Understand? Book of Matthew 10:16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Understand? Now, collectively, this is a turning point with the full moon Gemini. What this does is it closes a book on the conclusive evidence that we need to inform a new culture. And the new culture is going to be developed as a result of Mars concentrating itself in Cancer for the rest of the year, in retrograde and then direct motion. That is the forming, the creation of a new culture. Wherever Mars is, something is being created. Understand? Therefore, we are creating a new culture that fits this timeline. The timeline of truth and wisdom. The water bearers, Aquarius. Understand? Understand. New culture. The third house is before the fourth house. Gemini is right before Cancer. And the third house is where we learn critical thought. It's where we get all of the information, the conversation, the data, the insight, the review, the testing of theories, the examination, the weighing between the heart and the mind to crystallize and solidify what we find to be useful, productive, in a relationship between thought and behavior and expression. And that becomes culture, which is of the fourth house. The fourth house is a house of culture, Cancer. Culture makes the environment. Culture makes the atmosphere. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. Understand? Culture is the crystallization of wisdom and experience. The benefits of experience, the rewards and fruit of triumph and success and victory through the ethereal. So what we are doing collectively is we are closing the discovery package. We don't need any more conclusive data, evidence, or information to design, form a new cultural infrastructure for our timeline. Once the culture is formed, it has permanence in our social agreements. This is the case in your relationship, in your household, in your community, in society, in this nation, in the globe itself. You look at, for example, Burkina Faso, Africa. It was a number of, and you can fact check me, okay, because I could be inaccurate about this, so please verify and fact check, somewhere of $43 billion in debt that Burkina Faso had as a nation. And they decided not to borrow or be subject to anyone's loans or offerings to pay their debts. And don't you know, they have zero debts as a nation today. I have never heard of anything like that, ever. A miracle. And they put all other nations to shame who have not accomplished that. And it shows the capacity, the possibility, the capability of every nation if there is honesty, integrity, values, transparency, without corruption getting in the way. They have no debts. Imagine that as a nation. So that sets the precedence for their cultural standards going forward. So something that you've been working on, something that your relationship, your household, your family, your community has been working on and experienced, you're now ready to crystallize and solidify a new cultural standard for yourself. Mode of operation for yourself from here on forward that you will not stray from, because you found that it means efficiency and emotional security for you. It means dignity for you. Understand? Especially dignity. Dignity came with the full moon Taurus. Understand? Dignity came with the full moon Taurus, which was the last full moon that we had. Dignity. And this is culture that upholds dignity, values, morals, integrity. We are on the other side.